So I would say we're facing a challenge this year that cantors have not faced ever before. The very essence of cantorial music is really about connecting with the congregation, setting a tempo, setting a mood. And in order to achieve that, you need time to be on your side. Now, it's true that in every shul, they tell a cantor by which time he has to end the service. But to go up to the Amud and to know in advance that you're under the gun makes the job close to impossible. And the very first thing I would say to cantors listening to this is, if you've never prepared before for the holidays, this is the time to start doing it. This is going to be a davening, a service like you've never led before. This year is not about the great cantorial recitatives. It's certainly not about choir responses. It's about moments during a service where people feel moved. And it's equally about moments where you are speeding or reading through davening at a very, very high speed. The congregation is anxious. People are coming to shul, many of whom, their spouses, their children, have tried to dissuade them from attending services. Right? Usually you think about Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, it's the time where people that don't come on a regular Shabbos, but they're showing up on the high holidays. And here you have the very opposite situation. You have people coming to shul who are sitting there anxious, not anxious about what kind of year God is going to give them. Their anxiety comes from the fact of their concern about being in a synagogue during these days of the COVID-19 pandemic. And we as cantors have to be aware. You have to know where people are at. And so the songs that you choose, the melodies that you'll offer, they have to be given with a lot of thought. You have to look for pieces that you can sing and get the point across in a minute or two, not pieces that take 5 or 10 minutes to reach their musical apex. In the rest of the davening, you have to practice speed reading. You have to be able to move through malchias, zichronos, shofros, that are usually highlights of the service, at a very fast speed. And even in the Sanatokif, you have to choose for yourself, where am I going to set the emphasis? In Hineni also, and we'll get into it in later recordings, you have to choose 1 or 2 highlights that you want to convey musically to the audience. The rest, you have to package on an express line, almost like you were passing the easy pass lanes on a toll. Almost like you were passing the easy pass lanes before going into a bridge or tunnel. The very best eitzah and guidance I could give a chazan bal tefillah before this year is, know your timing. Know what's possible. Take the machzor out. Read through the davening. Sing it out loud. See what areas you can go fast in and what areas you want to concentrate on more. But keep in mind that in most shuls, you will have at most 2 hours or so, if you're lucky, to get through the entire service. Yosler Rosenblatt used to say that you need a tefillah al hatfilah, a prayer about the prayer. This year, Chazanim need that tefillah more than ever. Come to shul prepared, have a backup plan, know what you're doing, know what to do if you have to get through davening faster than you imagined. And keep in mind one thing, that for most people who have not been in shul since March, the very idea that they can come into a sanctuary and sit there and experience those moments with you is sufficient. To sit in a shul, to see the Ark and the Aron Kodesh open, to see the Sifrei Torah is an overwhelming experience, especially this year. for our brothers and sisters, members of the Jewish community in the United States and around the world. I hope that this is helpful to you, and I will in future videos get into specific ideas of what we can do to enhance specific parts of the davening.